You want to win in business in 2025? Then forget what they taught you in school. Forget the textbooks, the trends, even the hype on social media. Because the real game is changing. And only those who understand the new rules will survive. You see, people think success comes from being the smartest, the fastest, or the one with the most money. But they are wrong. Completely wrong. Let me tell you something. In 1999, I had no money, no tech skills, just a big mouth, and a dream to connect China to the world. Everyone laughed at me. Even my friends said, "Jack, this internet thing, it's a joke." But I kept going. In 2025, the world is more complicated than ever. AI is rising, people are burned out, and businesses are collapsing overnight. But what I learned back then still works today. So listen closely, because I'm going to give you 3 lessons that nobody teaches in school, but every entrepreneur must understand if you want to build something that lasts. Let's start with the first lesson. In business, most people think the customer is king. And yes, customers are important. But here's what I learned at Alibaba. If you want to serve the customer well, you must first serve your people. That's why I always said, customers first, employees second, shareholders third. People were shocked. They said, "Jack, are you crazy? What about profit?" I said, if your people are happy, your customers will feel it. And when your customers are happy, your investors will be happy too. In 2025, people are afraid of being replaced by AI, afraid of being left behind. But here's the truth. Machines don't have dreams, people do. And when you invest in your people's growth, their heart, their creativity, you build a business that cannot be copied by a robot. When Alibaba started, we had no money to offer high salaries. But I promised my team, I will not let you down. If we lose together. If we win together. That trust, that loyalty, it became our greatest asset. Business is not about competition. It's about cooperation. Inside your team and outside with your partners. If you treat your team like machines, they will break. But if you treat them like humans, with dreams, families, fears, and talents, they will fight for your vision, even when things go wrong. Let me ask you a question. How much time do you spend developing your people? Not just training them, but believing in them. In 2025, the businesses that thrive will be the ones that create cultures of purpose. Not just perks, but purpose. Because people don't stay for free coffee or ping pong tables. They stay when they feel seen, heard, and valued. So if you're building a startup right now, don't just focus on the product. Focus on the people building the product. They are your secret weapon. They are your legacy. And that is lesson 1. When I was young, I failed many times. I failed my university entrance exams twice. I applied to 30 jobs, rejected from all of them, even KFC. They hired 23 out of 24 people. I was the only one they said no to. But you see, rejection is not the end. Rejection is the beginning of a mindset that refuses to quit. In 2025, people are chasing fast results, instant fame, viral success. But let me ask you, what happens when the likes disappear? What happens when your idea fails? Will you run away or stand back up? I didn't start Alibaba because I was the smartest. I started it because I was too stubborn to give up. I believed that someday the internet would change lives in China. Nobody believed me. They laughed. They called me a fool. But I understood something they didn't. Rejection is not personal. It's just part of the process. Every time someone says no to you, you have 2 choices. You can shrink or you can grow. Rejection teaches you resilience. Rejection builds your character. Rejection makes you creative. When you have nothing, you are forced to think different. And that's how greatness begins. There was a time when I couldn't raise money. Investors said, "Jack, you don't understand tech. Your idea is too big." I said, yes, maybe I don't understand the technology, but I understand people. And that's why we kept going. The truth is, if you've never been rejected, you've never tried hard enough. Because anyone doing something bold will always face resistance. Maybe today, your startup is not making money. Your friends don't support you. You feel like a joke. Good. That means you're trying. That means you are walking the road most people are too afraid to take. Do you know what I tell young entrepreneurs? Don't wish for an easy path. Wish for the strength to keep walking the hard one. In 2025, rejection still exists, but now it's faster, louder, and public. People judge you in seconds, but don't let the world's noise drown out your belief. If I listened to the voices that said you can't, there would be no Alibaba. There would be no jobs for thousands of people. So I'll ask you again. When the world says no, will you stop or will you rise? Because that is lesson 2. When I started Alibaba, we were not the best at technology. We were not the first in e-commerce. We didn't even have a real business model. But we had something bigger, a vision, a belief that small businesses in China deserved a chance to reach the world. I didn't want to build a product. I wanted to build an ecosystem where merchants, buyers, delivery workers, and banks could all grow together. In 2025, too many startups are chasing short-term trends. They build an app, go viral for 3 weeks, and then disappear. Why? Because they built a moment, not a movement. If you want your business to survive the future, you must think long-term. You must build systems that help others win, not just yourself. When we built Alipay, banks were angry. They said, "Jack, this will never work." But I said, "We are not here to compete with banks. We are here to serve the people they ignored." That's the mindset of an ecosystem. Not, how do I dominate, but how do I empower? If you help others succeed, you will always have a place in the future, because people remember those who helped them rise. Today, entrepreneurs focus too much on features, on designs, on fundraising. But ask yourself, who is your platform helping? Whose life is easier because you exist? If you want to build a legacy, think beyond your app. Think about your impact. Think about your ripple effect. At Alibaba, we never dreamed of becoming a giant. We dreamed of becoming useful. And because we were useful, we became unstoppable. That is your challenge in 2025. Stop trying to be famous. Start trying to be foundational. So many entrepreneurs ask me, "Jack, what's the secret to lasting success?" I say, it's not about the money. It's about how many people rise with you. If you build an ecosystem, you don't just build a business. You build a future. That is lesson 3. So let me leave you with this. You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You don't need to be born rich. And you definitely don't need to be perfect. You need 3 things: a heart for your people, a spirit that won't quit, and a mind that builds for tomorrow. This is how we built Alibaba, and this is how you will build your legacy. So now I ask you, are you ready to lead in 2025? Let's get to work.